Greetings, enough respect. Yeah, today we're looking on reggae music. Music for the people. Reggae music, the music with the message. The very powerful music that was used to bring about awareness to the people. Reggae music is music for the people. Reggae music is music with the message. Singers and players of instruments have always had the responsibility of bringing awareness to the people. Through music, the message, songs of freedom, and the awareness of what is happening within the community, it has been passed through music. And reggae music is like I can say reggae music is the library, because when you listen to reggae music, it's not like you feel good and you dance and that's all. Because when you listen to reggae music, it's like you're sitting in a classroom. It's like you're learning. It's like you take a tour in the library. You go in the library. You take books, you read. It's knowledge. Reggae music tells you about the revolution. Reggae music empowers you, tell you about diet, how to be in tune with nature, and all these positive things and vibrations, connection with the Almighty, with your God, and all those things. Then you ask ourselves, like, what is the thing? Like, why is it in South Africa? Why is it that the South African system cannot support the reggae music? Why is it that the music that has played a vital role in the past, the music that has played a vital role to the history of South Africa, because reggae music was the music that played a vital role in fighting against the oppressive system in South Africa, in fighting against apartheid in South Africa. For example, Peter Tosh, if you remember, when he had a tour in Israel, and the tour was supposed to make millions for him, and Tosh he cancelled that tour, and he said, how can I go to a country that is supporting the apartheid system in South Africa, supplying weapons to oppress black people in South Africa? Then how can I go to such country and sing about equal rights? You see that reggae music has always been that fight. Reggae music has always been the word for the people. It has always been that vehicle that was supposed to awaken that our consciousness and fight and try by our means to bring about the awareness of what is happening to the community. Reggae music is music with a message. Reggae music is music for the people. Then why is it that reggae music is not appreciated in South Africa? Why is it that reggae music is not appreciated? Why is it every time when you tune in the television, in your television, all you see is girls, money, and guns, but you never see nothing, no reggae? So now we are saying, like, why is it that the system or the music industry, they fight against reggae music so hard? So we have to look deep within this thing and try to find solutions at the same time, because if we have to advance as reggae music, we have to not play by the system. We have to try by all means to create our own and try to create our own industry. So also we have to have our own radio stations and our own TV programs to push this music, because this is the music is the hope for the people. This is why is it that they fight against reggae music so hard? Why is it every time you tune in your television, you never find reggae music? Why is it every time you tune in your radio, you never find reggae music? Why is it that they never talk about reggae music? Why is it that they never play reggae music? And all these things, they must they must awaken up your mind, and they must want you to know why is it, what is it that they are trying to hide in this music so hard? Why they are so desperate in making sure that you don't listen to this music? For instance, in South Africa, Lucky Dube was the greatest reggae musician to ever come out of South Africa. He was the biggest. He was the world hero, the big all over South Africa, big in Europe. He was big in Jamaica, Lucky Dube. But in South Africa, he was never never respected. He was never shown respect when he was alive in South Africa. The only time South Africa showed some love to Lucky Dube, that was when he died. That was when he passed away. That was the only time that they show some sort of love to him. That was when the politicians were going all out talking about Lucky Dube as if they knew him, talking about Lucky Dube this, Lucky Dube that. The media, they were talking about the Lucky Dube, how great he was. He was a legend. He was an icon. He was the freedom fighter. He was a prophet. They were talking of giving all this praise to him. But when he was alive doing reggae music, they never played his music on the television. They barely played his music on the radio. But this was the music that gave influence to the freedom fighters that were fighting against apartheid system. Reggae music was there to fuel that fire. Reggae music was there to give them fire. Reggae music was there to encourage them. Reggae music was there to school the people about what is happening in the world. Because reggae music is not just any music. Reggae music is a music for the people. Reggae music is the library. Reggae music, that is where you go and learn, because you never learn these things in school. Reggae music talk about diet, talk about how to take care of your body. It talk about how to eat from the soil, how to plant, how to do farming, agriculture. It talks about all these things. Reggae music talk about spirituality, how to be in tune with nature. Reggae music doesn't destroy, doesn't talk about bad things, doesn't talk about how we can discriminate each other. It doesn't talk about ridiculing women, calling them bees and hoes and all those nasty words. Reggae music teaches us how to love one another. It talks about one love, togetherness. It teaches us to love your brother, one love. You love your brother, you love your sister, you treat everyone with respect, you humble yourself. It teaches you, the black man, about himself, how to know himself, how to be in tune with himself. It teaches you about your history that you will never find in your history books. It teaches you about who you are. It reminds you of who you are, because you don't know yourself. And clearly there's people who are making sure that you don't get to know yourself. You don't come in contact with yourself, because if the reggae music was not a threat, why is it that they are fighting against it this hard? Why is it they are putting all this energy to fight against reggae music? Why is it that they never promote reggae music? The only time in your radio station you will listen to reggae music, that is on weekends, maybe once in a weekend. And you will find that every radio show, every radio station that has a reggae show, it's only maybe on Saturday, and they all play at the same time. Then you cannot decide if, okay, today I'm going to listen to this show, then tomorrow I'm going to listen to the other show from the other radio station, because they all play at the same time. So now you are forced to decide that you want to listen only to one show. I cannot listen to all of them. Why is it that they are fighting against reggae music so hard? These are the things that we have to ask ourselves as a people. A lot of people, they don't want to hear reggae music. They don't want to listen to reggae music because there's someone who has painted reggae music and the influence of Rastafari in a negative. And these are the things that we have to iron out. These are the things that we have to talk about. Because if the system has showed it, the government has shown it, that they don't want reggae music. They have shown that reggae music is not in their interest. The music industry have showed us that reggae music is not in their interest. They have showed us that they are interested only in playing all this music where you see ladies walking in their underwears, naked women, money and alcohol and drugs. That's the only lifestyle you see on television, on the television. That's only you see. That's the only pictures that you see. But in reggae music, you see all the beautiful pictures of Africa. You see women dressed as queens and being addressed as queens, and brothers being kings and knowing how to treat women in a righteous way, and how women carry themselves as virtuous women. But you don't, and there are people who are fighting against that. These are the things that we have to talk about. Have the responsibility to make sure, because this is the music that has awakened us. This is the music when school was teaching us how to be better Europeans, when school was teaching us how to hate ourselves, when school was teaching us that we are nothing, because in school we were taught that everything that was good came from the West and it never came from Africa. It was teaching us about Christopher Columbus. It was teaching us about all these other people of European descent, but it never taught us about Africans. The only time the history that we learned in school taught us about Africa and the history in Africa, it was when we were colonized, when we were at the mercy of the Westerners. It never teaches us about when we were great. It never teaches us about the great revolutionary, that even that the ones that rebelled against the oppressive system. Because I never learned about Marcus Garvey in school. It was through reggae music. It was the burning spear that taught me of Marcus Garvey. Because if it wasn't for reggae music, maybe even I wouldn't have known about Marcus Garvey. It was the burning spear that taught me that to remember Marcus Garvey. It was burning spear that say, follow Marcus Garvey. Everywhere you go, follow him. Then I see, who is this Marcus Garvey? Who is this great man that the burning spear teaches about? That he was a great man, that he said this and he did this and did that. Then now I start to look up Marcus Garvey. I start to do my own research. I start to read the opinion and the philosophy of Marcus Garvey. And from that day on, my life changed. Suddenly, I was resurrected. Hope for the people, Marcus Garvey. Opinion and the philosophy of Marcus Garvey has been like my Bible. Reading it from that day on, I never stop. I am this person that I am because of reggae music. And picture how many people will awaken up if reggae music was available to everyone. Young children, where they go and buy their lollipops, reggae music play. Young children, when you go in here and there, restaurants and all these places, you play reggae music, positive music. But everything you see everywhere today, radio, TV, clubs, even where the children play, schools, their school plays and everything, nasty music. That has no sense at all. That doesn't say anything senseless at all. That is saying senseless things. That is not teaching anything to anyone. But reggae music, they still look down on reggae music. They look down on reggae music. They look down on the influence of reggae music. This is not just any music. This is revolutionary music. This is the greatest weapon that you can ever find in music, because the influence and the power of music, my brother, is the greatest tool to awaken people up. With the music, you can change the world. That is why we say music is the greatest tool. That is why we have to check how we use that tool. We have to check how we use it now. Because reggae music is the greatest tool at our disposal. Singers and players of instruments, they have a responsibility. They have a responsibility to guide people in the right direction. They have a responsibility to let us aware of what is happening around us. They have a responsibility to teach us about everything, to tell us where we are as a people, where we come from as a people. They have that responsibility. But now, that responsibility or that greatest tool has been used against us, to not build us anymore, but to destroy us. With all this senseless music that promotes violence, that promotes black people killing one another, calling us bitches, niggas and hoes, and all these nasty words. It has been used as the greatest tool and weapon to destroy us, this music. So now we have to think again. How can we reverse this? And the answer is, because now all the greatest music that is there, the same thing that they did with hip-hop, they are doing now with reggae music. They did the same thing with hip-hop. They destroyed hip-hop, they crippled it, because hip-hop was not about this turn-up life. Hip-hop was never about that. Hip-hop was about the struggles of the people. It was about the struggle. It was about the revolution. Because hip-hop rise up at the time where black people were treated as nothing. Black people were being killed killed, black people who have been subjected to horror, to all that misery. It was then that the youth rise and bring about a new culture, because hip-hop, reggae music, that is a culture. It's not just music. That is, now we have to wise up, open up our eyes and try to look at the bigger picture now. We have to take a responsibility as artists. You see now what they are doing, artists, because now they care about themselves now. They no longer care about the people. Because when you come now to these labels trying to be signed by them, you see, you come with the lyrics, and the lyrics, they talk about the revolution, they talk about black history, they talk about Africa, they talk about when we're great, they talk about sun, moon and star. They don't want to hear that. They say, no, if you can change the lyrics here and there, because people don't want to hear that. We're trying to have an audience. See, you have to change this and that in order for the people to accept it. And now they're trying to water down the music. That is what is happening in reggae now. That is why you find that what is happening with dancehall. They introduced dancehall, now they're trying to destroy reggae music. What is dancehall? Dancehall, you find that now this is the tool of the enemy. This is the tool of the devil, trying to destroy reggae. But like it do sing and say, nobody can stop reggae, nobody can kill reggae, nobody can stop reggae. They will try, but they can't. See, you can change the style of playing reggae, you can change the rhythm, but you will never change the message, because reggae is the message. You can never, because the moment you change the message, the music is no longer the same. It is no longer reggae. You can no longer call it reggae. Reggae is the message. That is why, like Itube say, they can change the style of playing reggae, they can change the rhythm, but they must never, and they can never change the message of reggae music, because reggae is the music of the people. Reggae is the message to the people. Message that is supposed to reach for people's hearts. Reggae is supposed to bring about that certain consciousness within you. Reggae is supposed to raise you to be a better person. It's not supposed to devalue you. Reggae is not supposed to make you worse. You're supposed to change. You cannot listen to reggae and remain the same again. When you listen to reggae music, it must bring about change, because with truth comes responsibility, because with truth comes change, and with change comes responsibility. That's what reggae music is about. And a lot of people I know, they don't like the truth. Why they don't like the truth? They don't like responsibility, because with truth comes responsibility. You can hear the truth, but you cannot unhear it. They know and they fear this. They know that the more people are exposed to reggae, the more people are waking up, the more people come to know the truth. And that is the truth that will set you free. I say stick to reggae music. Those that are doing reggae music, singers and players of instruments, the reggae artists, never water down the message of reggae. Never water down the lyric of reggae. Never try to dilute it to fit in within the industry, the oppressive industry, or to try to fit in to the system that does not appreciate you. Never try to water down reggae. It is not supposed to be watered down. Never. Don't water down reggae to try and fit in. You must tell it like it is. You must keep that which you have inherited from the legends, from Peter Tosh, from the Burning Spear, Culture Joseph Hill, Dennis Brown, and all these revolutionaries that came before you, Gregory Isaacs. These are the artists that paved the way for you. These are the artists. Peter Tosh, they were beaten, they were tortured, they were isolated, they are told, they were burned, their music was banned, but they kept pushing, paving a way for you, bringing about this awareness, fighting the system, bringing awareness, teaching the people, because these are the African teachers, these are the prophets, they had a responsibility and they carried it. They suffered for it. Then for you to come and try to be afraid of responsibility, the young warriors in reggae music today, do not be afraid of their responsibility. Do not be afraid to be isolated for reggae. Do not be afraid to even for them. Do not be afraid. Be like the greatest warriors, like when you take the baton. Be like that spirit of Peter Tosh. Be that. Never change reggae music. You must fight for this music and you must fight for this message, because reggae is the message.